The morning was deceptively calm. Sunlight streamed across the oak floors of the Carters' colonial home, catching the dust motes like glittering confetti. Jennifer moved through the kitchen, a mundane rhythm of sorting laundry and preparing breakfast, until something stopped her cold. A streak of blood-red lipstick on a crisp white dress shirt. Hanging neatly in William's walk-in closet, it was a single, damning message. The perfect life she had built was a lie. She froze, holding the fabric as if it could explain itself. The twins were at school. Emma was at piano. 15 years of marriage crystallized into this single, horrifying moment. William, her husband, the man who had relied on her unwavering support through medical school, residency, and the rise to chief of cardiac surgery, had betrayed her in a way that went beyond infidelity. Her mind flashed through the perfect moments: hospital fundraisers where she smiled as he praised her, dinners she meticulously planned, milestones she orchestrated, all rendered meaningless by a smear of lipstick. There would be confrontation, outrage, even tears, she thought. But not yet. She closed the closet door with deliberate calm, tucking the shirt away, as though hiding the truth might somehow buy her time. By the time William kissed her goodbye and left for the hospital, she had made a silent decision. Panic hardened into purpose. Every misstep he had taken, every secret, every betrayal, would be methodically uncovered. Jennifer was no longer just a wife. She was a strategist, a woman reclaiming control. She moved through her day with a mask of composure, helping the twins with homework, attending Emma's recital, smiling politely at neighbors. Behind the facade, her mind traced every secret, every inconsistency, every lie William had woven into the fabric of their lives. The lipstick stain was only the beginning. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to think about her life as her own. The carefully constructed illusion of a perfect family was gone, but in its place, a different kind of clarity emerged, one forged from betrayal, grief, and the slow ignition of resolve. Jennifer Carter was awake. Days turned into weeks. Jennifer quietly gathered evidence, her movements imperceptible to William, who remained absorbed in his work and his mistress. She discovered suspicious withdrawals from their joint account, financial gaps linked to an entity called Riverside Holdings. Each dollar unaccounted for told a story: deception, greed, and planning on his part. She met with Patricia Winters, the city's most ruthless divorce attorney, who advised her to document everything: bank statements, financial records, personal communications. Jennifer began piecing together a mosaic of lies, one that reached further than she had imagined. Each discovery was a quiet shock, each revelation a brick removed from the foundation of her marriage. Late at night, she accessed her children's medical files, uncovering anomalies in IVF procedures. What had seemed like random failures now suggested a deliberate pattern. Her hands trembled as she reviewed lab reports, signatures, and procedural modifications. William had ensured his sperm was never used. Anonymous donors had been substituted without consent. The children she raised, loved, and nurtured were not biologically his. Anger and grief collided with clarity. She was no longer a passive participant. Jennifer contacted Dr. Nathan Brooks, a former colleague who corroborated her suspicions about Ashford Fertility Clinic. Together, they began assembling a case, an intricate puzzle of medical fraud, ethical violations, and deliberate deceit. At home, she maintained the illusion of normalcy: school drop-offs, music lessons, homework help. But every gesture was calculated, every interaction a cover for the investigation growing beneath the surface. She began recording conversations, photographing documents, tracing financial transfers, building the case meticulously, like a surgeon mapping out an operation. She realized the betrayal was multi-layered. William's affair, financial deception, and ethical violations were not isolated events. They were part of a carefully orchestrated plan to control, manipulate, and protect his own image. And now, Jennifer intended to dismantle it piece by piece. The DNA results arrived on a gray Tuesday morning. Jennifer held the envelope with calm hands, heart racing silently beneath the surface. She opened it. The test confirmed her worst fear. The children were not biologically William's. Her hands clenched around the paper, the weight of 15 years of trust, sacrifice, and love crashing down in one brutal moment. This revelation transformed her grief into something sharper, something precise. She realized the affair, the financial manipulation, the ethical violations were all connected. William's ambition had extended beyond career. He had manipulated the very foundation of her family. Jennifer contacted former clinic employees, uncovering dozens of manipulated cases. Patients whose children were switched or misled. Records hidden, falsified, destroyed. She interviewed Diane Fletcher, a longtime nurse, who handed over leather-bound journals detailing procedural fraud and William's signature authorizing replacements of specimens. Each page was another brick in the wall of evidence she would bring down. She met Agent Michael Dawson from the Joint Task Force investigating healthcare fraud. Together, they pieced the puzzle. William's greed, ambition, and control had left countless families deceived. Jennifer's personal betrayal became part of a larger, systemic wrongdoing. Meanwhile, William remained oblivious, continuing his public life. He brought his mistress to school events, paraded her in their home, smiled through public appearances, all under Jennifer's calm, watchful gaze. She maintained appearances flawlessly while secretly constructing a plan for public and legal exposure. The revelation of the children's biological truth sharpened her focus. This wasn't just an affair, this was a life built on lies. And Jennifer Carter was ready to reclaim her story. Months of preparation led to a single night, the Ashford Medical Gala, the hospital's most prestigious annual event. William was to receive the Physician of the Year award. The irony was exquisite. He would be celebrated for ethics and excellence, while the truth awaited him in the same room. Jennifer entered the ballroom alone, clad in a sleek black gown, diamonds catching the light. She moved through clusters of colleagues and socialites, all unaware that she held the key to their reverence and respect. Agent Dawson, hospital board members, and legal authorities were in place, ready to act. William held court near the stage, arm around Rebecca Harrington. Her crimson dress mirrored the lipstick that had set everything in motion. Smiles, toasts, applause, all of it a theater of deception. Jennifer's gaze never wavered. She approached, envelope in hand, steps deliberate, calm, commanding. Time slowed. She placed the cream-colored envelope on the table. "Congratulations on your freedom," she said quietly. William's smirk faltered as he opened it. The DNA results and evidence of fraud were there, each document a knife of truth. Rebecca froze, comprehension dawning. William's face darkened, shifting from anger to disbelief. His carefully curated life unraveled in real time. The room went silent as Agent Dawson stepped forward, announcing the arrest. Financial crimes, medical fraud, ethical violations, all documented, all verified. Jennifer stood tall, composed. The humiliation and exposure were complete, the climax of years of patience, grief, and meticulous planning. Her strategy had succeeded. Justice, long delayed, arrived with cinematic precision. William was handcuffed, escorted from the room, the applause replaced by stunned silence. His empire of deceit, carefully built over years, crumbled in moments. Rebecca remained, stunned, powerless against the system Jennifer had orchestrated. The gala transformed into a tableau of truth and justice. The hospital board now faced the stark reality of corruption, fraud, and betrayal. Jennifer watched with measured satisfaction. Her children, her legacy, her future were secured. In the chaos, she realized something profound. The betrayal, while shattering, had liberated her. She was no longer William's wife. She was Jennifer Carter, mother, strategist, survivor, and author of her own life. Her meticulous planning had ensured justice without unnecessary cruelty. She had dismantled a false reality with precision, protecting the innocent while holding the guilty accountable. Weeks later, the aftermath settled. William's assets frozen, legal proceedings underway, Ashford Fertility Clinic under review. Families reached out, seeking closure and answers. Jennifer co-chaired the hospital's ethics committee, ensuring history would not repeat. She met Rebecca quietly one evening at a neutral cafe. Their shared understanding, two women manipulated by the same man, formed an unexpected alliance. "Do you regret it?" Rebecca asked softly. Jennifer considered her words, then shook her head. "They will learn the truth," she said. "But it doesn't change who they are or the love we have for them." Jennifer returned home, watching her children sleep, feeling something unfamiliar yet profoundly necessary: liberation. The perfect family illusion had shattered, but what remained was authentic, messy, and entirely hers. For the first time in 15 years, Jennifer Carter's story belonged to her alone.